Welcome everyone, this is Pineleaf Needles and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in LOTRO and here at LOTRO Players. And this week we have with us Andang,
Hey everybody.
Harry Adwin,
Hi, hi.
Maven,
Hey, y'all.
Arather,
Hello, everybody.
and Carvet.
At your service and your families.
And this week we are going to begin with the big news of this week, the release to Bullroarer at least, of Update 17, Minas Tirith, and we thus have several beta videos related to this.
Yes, Pineleaf. It's really exciting. Minas Tirith is finally here. We've been waiting for like over 2 years for Minas Tirith to come into the
Well,
game.
not quite completely here yet.
Well, true, but you can go to it if you have the right server. And so it's
Well,
really cool
yeah.
that it's actually in an actual physical form in Lotro code. It exists. It's crazy
I mean,
cool.
you can look at it in the distance in live, and then you hear some guy behind you say, "It's only a model."
It's only a cardboard model.
This is silly place.
Let's not go there.
Let's not go there live.
I heard there's a bunch of these model orcs around it. There's some kids playing some game or something, so you should just stay away from it.
Alright, and your first video looks like a tour through the city.
Yes, this place is huge, and they definitely did it right. It's amazing. It's hard to even comprehend how big this city is. It's literally like 7 cities combined, one on each level.
Seven
And
long, skinny, curvy cities.
long city curvy cities kind of combined into one. It is a little bit tough to navigate, but it's Minas Tirith. It's kind of expected where you're gonna have to run like to the end and back again.
I didn't find it hard to navigate at all because
It's not hard to
of the
know
way the
where
map
you
is.
are. It's
Yeah.
hard to go from the bottom to the top. I timed it, and if you go directly there, it literally takes 4.5 minutes.
The horrors.
And that's on a war
No,
steed.
the horrors.
It's a labyrinth of pyramidal ascension in concentric circles over a serpentine path.
So I'm
I
pretty
do
sure
like
the
the-
orcs will just like give up. They'll be like, "Ah, it's too far." Like, and in history, like the actual
get
like
there.
lawns of like a lord would be so long that they'd have plenty of room to fight and like keep retreating. And so I feel like that it's like the same concept where they're just like, the orcs will give up by the time they get to the top.
Well, that's it. You can bottleneck them on the way up and just pick them off, especially when you got archers raining down arrows from above.
I mean, no wonder Denethor's not
Very
worried. He knows it's going to be like 3 months till the orcs actually make it to the top level.
What they don't tell you is the Denethor's got a private elevator in the spire.
Alright, now one note concerning something that was mentioned during this video, and that is that, yes, in the lore, in Tolkien's description, he does say that the stairways are about halfway around.
Oh, all right. Well,
Okay.
the lore
there you go.
stands with Turbine. I'm not too surprised because Turbine follows the lore so closely.
Right.
Just listen to Corey Olson talking through like his experience in the Shire, for example, and you'll know that they follow it to a T.
You'll learn more about the walls in Lotro. Watch
Yes.
it.
Oh, and I'm sure if he ever makes it to Minas Tirith, he will give you quite a history of the walls.
You would
Yeah,
probably
multiple months
spend
worth.
Hours.
Actually, one thing I did notice that was missing was the like the tombs of the kings.
Yeah, I wonder if
couldn't
that's going to
find
be added as they go on,
Maybe
because this
But
is
I
just the
couldn't-
first
I
round
couldn't
of
find
beta.
them. I was wondering maybe if like the Black House place was that and was supposed to lead into that somewhere, but I don't
Because, like,
know.
for example, with Rohan in the first round of beta with Helm's Deep, the Glittering Caves weren't there.
Oh.
So it's possible that they could, be
Yeah.
adding that in later.
Yeah, the King's Tombs would have to be kind of like some offshoot off of one of the higher levels through a mountainside.
Mhm.
So it's
Yeah.
possible the door's there, but you can't get through it yet.
But in general, I think Minas Tirith is amazing. They did a great job with it, and glad to know that the way up is actually in the right spot.
All right.
Um,
Now,
I actually
the
found it pretty
second-
easy to navigate because it's really clearly marked on the map where those ramps
it
and
is,
stairs
yeah.
and
I mean, it's
stuff
when I
It's
said
not-
hard
If
to
you look at the
navigate,
map,
like I said, it's
Yeah.
easy to understand where to go. It's just a matter of how long it takes to get there.
Yeah, it's pretty surprising.
now
It's
the
awesome.
second video, and then goes through the epic battle that is currently available, because there will be 2 for the actual update, and that is the defense of Minas Tirith. And how did the battle go?
Well, we won, Pineleaf. You were there.
Oh, memories fade, you know.
I tell you what, that epic battle's got some nice familiar elements of epic battle, but it's also got some really new mechanics, some cool new mechanics. Siege towers that can be boarded and then blown up.
The
For
siege
example.
towers are a nice touch and do differentiate the combat quite a bit. Also, I noticed that this battle is shorter, and it might have just been because we had 2 people together. But I mean, the fact that this was our first time doing this battle and it only took 20 minutes is a pretty good sign that you could get even
Yeah,
faster.
no, I ran through it pretty quickly solo too.
Mhm.
It's pretty
And
quick.
so I think they realized that one of the issues with epic battles was just how long it takes, because it's the same thing you're doing basically just over and over and over again. And so really they just need to take away the repetition, and I think that'll help the epic
I
battles
think
quite a bit.
something interesting with this one is like that catapult. There's like a catapult, and I couldn't figure out what the heck it was used for, because it couldn't. I hit the siege tower as it came in, but it didn't do anything to it.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they're
And
going to add
I
the
couldn't
ability
turn
to
it
do
enough
stuff
hit
to
people
Siege
on the
Tower.
ground. It was interesting.
Because in Helm's Deep, you can use the Siege Towers to hit stuff on the ground. I'm guessing
Yeah.
they just haven't coded all that in yet.
Yeah, quite possibly. But I mean, it was an epic battle, but I mean, nothing terribly. You've never come across this before, like nothing like that. But I mean, it was fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I mean, you're fighting alongside Gandalf, so, you know, there's that. Well, you're really, like, fighting while Gandalf is standing beside you, I
Gandalf
should
is
say.
there to give you morale.
He's encouraging you silently
Encouragement.
with his presence.
Go team!
He's got a little hope buff.
He's probably more distracting with his white robe reflection off of the, like,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Gandalf was
Fires.
glowing.
yeah.
You must have that cloak of the many worlds buff.
Yeah, notice mine glows. It's kind of.
That's super high graphics. It's like, oh my gosh. I think
I'm
I'm
not
in a
sure what to think of that.
commercial. Whoa.
And also, you did a quick video on the old Honorian landscape. It didn't look like there was much in that video, though.
Well, that's because there's really not much in the old Honorian landscape. There's really only one other town other than Minas Tirith, because the third town you can't go to, because it's burnt down, and there's orcs in the way, and the door's
Oh.
shut.
The
way
Archit of Gondor?
Kar Andoros is shut. And so you can't, it says like to North Ithilien, you can't actually go over into Ithilien. I was all excited because I was like, all right, getting to go to
It's going to North Ithilien?
go to North Ithilien, it's going to be great. And then I saw the 2 and I was like, ah.
Well, you didn't see them advertise North Ithilien as one of the new zones.
No, I didn't, but I just figured that North Ithilien was part of this area, if that made sense.
I don't think so.
And it wasn't, which is sad. So this
All
is probably the smallest update that we've had as far as like spread out landscape. Because Minas Tirith is like all 7 towns that you would normally have spread out across this huge landscape, all in one spot. And so they probably spent the same amount of time working on the landscape. It's just it's all together condensed, and I'm glad they spent that amount of time on Minas Tirith, but it is one of the smaller areas. It'll be interesting to see how questing works, how many quests there are in Minas Tirith, and with this area as a whole.
There seemed like there was a decent amount just running through. I didn't do any of the questing at all, but I saw a couple of people doing some quests. It looked like there was a decent amount already, and I know there's far more that will be coming because the city's pretty bare of NPCs and interaction right now.
Right, yeah.
I mean, I'll think it'll be a decent amount because also consider we're starting back in Osgiliath with the questing. We're gonna have, I'm sure, a lot to do in that giant orc blob.
That's true. That is where it left
So
off.
we'll have stuff there. We'll probably have things getting out of Minas Tirith. I noticed way more Mumaks, like giant Oliphants in Osgiliath. I don't remember seeing giant Oliphants everywhere in Osgiliath, but I'm pretty sure there weren't. So I'm sure that's going to be some sort of quest.
What,
Yeah,
kill an elephant?
There's a couple of them, like giant Oliphants. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Right.
I am staying away
Yeah,
from
I
Hold
those.
on,
I don't know landscape.
giant
I believe
elephant
it.
as opposed to the tiny little ones?
Yeah,
The
not like the
regular
little one,
elephants.
not the ones you use as bookends or anything. like the big ones that have multiple piled on them.
All right.
Awesome.
Now
But I think there's
earlier,
going to be like stuff.
yeah,
A lot of
earlier
quests.
Anding said that he did a run through Minas Tirith from the bottom to top in about 4.5 minutes, and he even created a video for that one.
Yeah, just to show how it looks going through the city as Gandalf, basically. And what's
Lots of
crazy is those
times.
stairwells are in the middle, which means if you went from one end to the other and then like somehow ported to the next level without having to like retrace your steps, it would take, like 10 minutes to go and see everything in this city. But then if you include the retracing your steps part, it takes a long time if you wanted to just go and tour the whole city all at once.
All right. And though I noticed it took you 4.5 minutes to get up, but it took you a lot faster to get down.
Yes, it took like 15 seconds maybe to drop down from the top of Minas Tirith, and I'm so glad that you can actually go off the top. It is something that I know a lot of people have been wanting to do for a long time. I know Leonor on MMO Reporter, like the main thing whenever they talk about Minas Tirith, he's always saying, "Just let me jump off the top. I don't care about the rest of the
Yeah.
city."
And honestly,
So-
like,
Several
I
examples of
can't
it.
off that thing. When can I get a chicken to Minas Tirith? Because right now you can't get a chicken into Gondor because they can't go through the Pass of the Dead. But I want to get a chicken off the top of that thing. So want to do that.
That would be hilarious.
All right.
I know I've seen several videos tagged with the Minas Tirith plummet, as well as I took an impromptu poll of who's in chat tonight, who's done it, and many already have too. So it's
Oh.
like, can we get a title like Denethor's demise or something?
Oh,
Similar
I
to
have to
the
warn you about
well-traveled
this,
title,
is
yeah.
that if you go through as a chicken, I think the Wozes will be aggressive towards you.
The what?
Oh, brother.
Because the only path to get to Minas Tirith that's likely to happen eventually would be from Rohan through the Wozes forest. And they'll see chicken as a dinner, right?
Sure, Pine
Sure.
Leaf.
Okay. All right. Let's
I
go
see
through
chicken as a dinner. Like,
Okay. Now, what other favorites does anyone have on what they saw here?
Cosmetic weapons.
yes. You guys!
Cosmetic
guys!
weapon updates.
You guys!
Go ahead, Era.
I can tank with a frying pan. Ow.
Just not in the real world.
Not in the real world, but I can finally tank with a frying pan. It makes me so happy you have no idea.
Would you like that pan seared?
Pew! Yeah, and I can actually you can make them invisible. You can make weapons that you don't currently have. Like if you're not in combat, you can hide those cosmetic weapons. Hiding a cosmetic shield looks dumb because your shield is still on your arm. It just looks different when you get into combat, which is interesting. But you can hide the cosmetic weapons when you're not in combat. So I can just go up to somebody normally and be like, "Ah, I got a frying pan." Never saw that coming, did you?
Which is really
Oh,
cool,
I'm
actually, because I
I'm
was
excited.
getting a little tired of my Berg running around out of combat with the lantern and the rolling pin. I mean, I love the lantern and rolling pin in combat because it's hilarious, but she looks kind of stupid running around with it out of combat because
See?
the rolling pin is held like you're getting ready to whack somebody, and come on, burglar. So it's very cool that you can hide it out of combat.
And now you can pull a lit lantern out of your pocket.
Yep, and now she can pull a lantern out of her pocket.
Asbestos
Plus,
lined
you can
pockets.
use the two-handed implements like pitchforks in place of a two-handed weapon. So like swords, two-handed swords, two-handed axes, two-handed halberds, and the one-handed and two-handed weapons are now interchangeable with each other. So you can use a two-handed axe and put a skin on it of a two-handed halberd, and ditto like swords, daggers, and stuff.
Okay, so the group now essentially the two-handed
Yeah, so there's
stuff
a
is
group,
grouped
and-
together,
and-
and then there's a one-handed
and-
group.
The same thing with shields.
Right.
Okay.
Now, the exception of it are staff and spear, which are still individual.
Wait, so
Because
did
those
they
animations are different.
did they overwrite the deal with like warden shields can't be equipped by a guardian and whatnot? Did they override that?
Yeah. Now, any
Cosmetics, yeah.
cosmetic, it could be any shield.
Oh, so you could put a warden shield on a hobbit minstrel or a guardian heavy shield on a
Yes.
Oh.
Can you now?
Yep, it's now a category.
Wow.
There's
At
some
least
shields
according to
that are,
patch
like,
notes. I haven't actually tested it yet because
That's
the
what I'd be
characters
curious
that I
about.
copied over are not shield using characters.
Gotcha. That would be interesting because there are some pretty cool Warden Shields out there that probably could get some use.
Yeah.
And speaking of copying was so much easier than this time that's been in the
Oh
past.
my
Oh yeah.
goodness.
It used to be such a chore doing right. This time, boom, 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 boom. Wait a couple of minutes, and voila, you get the
Plus,
message
it was
saying,
very cool to be able to copy over like all of my stuff in wardrobe and shared storage and mark
Yes,
it
that was
"Oh
awesome.
that other
yes," and
too.
all those yeah, and copy over the mithril coin so I don't have to. So I was able to do, let's say, a couple of very quick transports at the
Mm-hmm.
beginning to
Yeah,
get the
I
ministerials.
another thing, this update is one of those things that is yet another update, like with capital letters, YAN or YAU or however the heck you spell update. Yet another update where it's obvious that Turbine's listening to their players of like everyone's like, it'd be great
Yes.
if we could harvest ore nodes from horseback in all the zones. And guess what? Now you can. Want to update the
Yes.
cosmetic system? Guess what? Now they're there. Crafting items stacked to 500 now. That's amazing. Just so many
But that'll
different
certainly help some of
little
my crafters.
yeah. So it's just little. There's a lot of little stuff that is going to make certain people very happy. They even did some music updates that they're doing that they're
Mm-hmm.
working on. So like it's kind of continuing that trend of hey, we're listening to you guys. You asked for these things and we're doing our best to make them happen. It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, the patch notes for build 1 very much felt like they're listening to people and what they want,
Lots
with
of
the
coddle.
exception of giving the bears bows.
Hey, my
Which,
bear's gonna like that bow.
yeah, everybody that was on the Academy field trap last night listened to me complain about bears with bows.
Yes.
Can you shoot
And
the
you
bow?
also complained about it when we went into the moors as well.
Yes. I made
Oh, she
sure to
probably
let
complained
everybody on
about it more
Creepside
in the
know that
moors.
those overpowered bears are going to be even more overpowered because they're going to have bows.
Yeah,
Can you
but let's be honest. A melee character like a Bjorning with a bow is going to be no more effective with the bow than a champ or a guardian. At best, they'll get an induction skill that lets them go blink instead of blink.
Be blink, yeah. That's
I mean,
just
it's like
about it.
woo. You
The,
put a tank in my armor.
one curious thing is like, can you use the bow while you're in bear mode? Because I would probably
Probably
pay to see
not.
that.
No,
Okay,
no.
okay. I will say
No
this.
way
I don't
can
know
they
if they
allow
change this, but when I
That's what
first
bees
started
are
my
for.
Bjorning, no, check this out. When I first started my Bjorning, I bought a stack of the throwing daggers because I figured that was my only ranged pull skill. So when I was in bear mode, you can still use them. The bear in my graphics will have a human arm sprout out the side, fling the dagger, and then pull back into the fur.
That's
I'm not
awesome.
sure if that's a graphical glitch or not, but that's what happened. So I was like, so why not? You know, if the bear can like have the bow kind of levitate out of the fur, and then human arms shoot it, and then it kind of sucks back in. I don't know. That'd be some really weird stuff. But
I am going to have to copy over Bjorning there and find out what
I think so.
happens.
I'm curious about what level Bjornings can use bows.
Well, yeah, there's also that question too.
Because my Bjorning's not very high. Granted, I could just make a Bjorning and 100. Yay, bows.
Probably be
well, I
fairly
mean,
low
it
level.
wouldn't surprise me. It would be something like the champ or the guard, like level 8, I think, level 7, something like that. Pretty straight
It's
out.
level 7 for the
By
champion.
the time you realize, oh, there's bows in this game, you can use it.
Yeah.
It's actually a little annoying because champions get a skill to use the bow well before they actually can get a bow.
Oh well. Nobody notices.
Yeah.
Speaking of bows, let's bow out of this topic and go to the next one.
Okay. Anyone else have any other topics they want to bring up related to Update 17?
That's a really big orc camp. Just saying. I
It
saw the map.
is-
It's huge.
I have a feeling we'll get a bigger one soon, though. Called Mordor.
Well, you know, like an entire zone of orc camp.
You
But, I
know,
mean, it's just interesting to see
A
how the questing
countryside
structure
camp.
in Minas Tirith is going to work, because it feels like it's going to be like You went out to the camp and you did stuff. Now you're back in the city. Now go back out to the camp and do more stuff. Now you're back in the city, and we're just gonna throw you at the enemy again and again. And it feels almost like, because of the way the city's laid out, there's gonna be some kind of maybe tiered reputation structure like they got in Lamroth or
Oh man, I
something.
hope not.
I don't know.
What?
Could you imagine if you couldn't get to the next tier until you had earned enough rep with the first tier that the guard says, okay, you're smart, you can go up, and you had to like get acquaintance with all these different tiers?
I'm gonna
Oh,
hope that Turbine
The
is
tears
smart
will
first-
be
enough not to
what
do
we
that
will
to
be
us.
shedding.
The first quest allows you to go up all the tiers in discovering where the guards are, so you'll at least be able to go up. And I think by this point we have enough of a reputation that it'd be just shocking if we couldn't go up, because that's been their whole mantra through the whole of Gondor, is that we're supposed to be heroes now.
Yeah, that's
We
true.
made it through Paths of the Dead. Word has spread about our reputation, and so, we definitely should be able to go straight and talk to Denethor. Denethor should be asking us for a conference.
I'm telling you, Tolkien left my name out of the book. These quests make it feel like that. They seriously do, and it's awesome.
Yeah, I just really hope that we don't have to go out to the orc camp and then go to talk to Denethor in his steward chair all the way back up at the top, and then go back to the orc camp. And so I hope that, Denethor doesn't become the new Elrond,
points.
making us go back to him all the time.
Well, when you reach
Well,
strength
that's
stats,
only gonna
he
last
shows
for
you
so long.
Okay.
That's true.
The
Yeah.
real reason Denethor didn't
I
jump,
probably
he
shouldn't
was
say
pushed
that.
off by questing people.
Mhm.
Well, you got to remember is Denethor does not jump off in the books.
He dies in the fire. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
All right. So now let's head into our store sales. And is there anything nice on sale this week?
There actually is some good stuff on sale this week. This week's free sample is a random relic pack. Use coupon code RELIX one time per account. We have 20% off shared storage, vault upgrades, inventory slots, currency cap, and shared wardrobe. We also have this weekend, so by the time this podcast comes out on Monday, um, it'll be over with, but it's determine your discount through October 4th. Spend 1,000, there's a code for 10% off. Spend 2,000, there's a code for 20. Spend 3,000, there's a code for 30% off. So it's really, really nice. And I'm super excited because I was in Quartermaster U's stream on Monday asking if we could have something other than LIs on sale, please.
No. She
And
said,
he came
"Can we
through,
get
so yay!
She was like, "Can we get a sale on storage?"
I was like,
Next
could we
thing you
get
know.
like cosmetics or storage or something? Who do I have to bribe? What do I have to bribe you with?
Now I'm curious.
All right. All right. Then let's head into our site news then. And our first poll is relevant to the news of this week because it is, when will Minas Tirith be added to LOTRO?
Yes, well, Pineleaf, that is what everybody's wondering until the updates started coming out. And a lot of people probably have figured out by now that with these bigger updates, usually there's about a 6-week period after the first build until when the game actually gets updated with the content. And so that makes the top answer be most likely, assuming that that does stay true, with 35%, 60 votes saying November is when they expect Minas Tirith to be added to LOTRO. The next highest answer was 2016 plus, which kind of surprised me that so many people thought that Minas Tirith wouldn't be coming out this year. But if you think about it, before this, before yesterday, really, we hadn't heard at all about Minas Tirith being coming out, except for way back in the producer's letter before all the delayed server
Yeah,
transfers and all that stuff. So
but Freelorn had a couple of times, in fact, as recently as last week, posted that they were expecting it late fall.
yeah, but then there's the confidence in Turbine as well that comes into play. Um, so it'll be interesting. I think based on where it is now versus other updates that November would probably work, assuming that they're able to do the same amount of work and there aren't any unforeseen issues. But that being said, I really hope they get Minas Tirith right. So if they need more time, I hope that they push it back. The other two results were December with 28% and October with 5%. So not very many people thought October, which makes sense.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, doesn't sound like a likely thing. Also, we have continuing the story of the lost. We have 3 more episodes.
Uh-huh.
I told you, Pine Leaf. I warned you
Eh,
last week.
they want to give us some hope of being able to keep up.
They just really like having Pine Leaf read their poems.
Well, maybe, but cutting out 3 of them means that we don't have time to read their poems. So therefore, maybe they didn't want me to read, so they made sure by having too many of them for me to read.
I
Not
doubt
sure
that's
that's a
the case,
good thing
Pine
or a
Leaf.
bad thing.
All right. So then let's head into our next area, which is the LOTRO video highlights. BBB goes to Weatherstock.
So this is a video.
Yeah. All right. Now that
Is
you
that why
completed
it's on the
the
video
process.
highlights?
That is. It fits the BBB and their usual style of videos. It's a 12-minute mockumentary about how the
Mockumentary?
BBB goes to Weatherstock.
And just so you
And
guys know, the BBB is not the Better Business Bureau. It's not the Bunny Biscuit Bureau. It is Bards, Beards, and Longbeards, which is a LOTRO, debauchery-centered booze and babes and partying type kin event thing.
it's pretty
Continue.
much, yeah,
Nailed it.
that's pretty much it.
Okay.
So anyway, if you want a good laugh from the BBB style humor, this video is up for you.
All right then. We also have a continuation of the Family Line, part 61. The hunters hunt, the hunters hunted. That's a bit of a tongue twister, all right. The hunters hunted.
It's nice how it starts out. The morning was cool. Like,
The morning
it's
was
like
cool.
a really awesome day because the morning was cool. The sun was cool. It was just cool.
All right. And then let's head into Tales of the Free Folk. Episode 2, The Deadly Hobbit. What made the Hobbit deadly?
Your dice rolling, Pine
What
Leaf.
dice?
The Hobbit was deadly because of
She
goblin
was
bait killing.
kicking goblin butt and taking names. That hobbit was.
I don't think she even stopped to take names. It was like goblin dead. Goblin dead.
That's true.
I'll
That's
get your name later and
That's
contact
true.
your relatives. No, I
Stop
won't.
with
But
that.
not to
Yeah,
make
really.
up for that.
Goblin dead.
She told the rest of us coming behind, just get their names. I'm going on ahead.
All right, they could say I came here to take names and to pierce some goblin hides, and I forgot all of my paper.
Okay, okay, Pine Leaf.
All right, maybe.
So therefore, it's death to goblins and forget the name part.
Right. All right, then let's go. See, we have another episode of Small Lotro Adventures, episode 30, A Pair of Pubs. And
Which would
that
be
is
last week's adventure with Bingo, which was awesome.
right.
So much pub crawling.
So much pub crawling, yes.
Yeah, it's kind of sad because the title for that one was good enough that my dwarf is now switching back and forth between the Sinking Stone and Tavern Goer. Because
Ah,
True. I still have mine on Conqueror of Writer's Block. That makes me happy. I'm like, yes, I can deal with this one.
all right. And then let's head into Shield of Honor Part 4. From the
Hashtag cliffhanger.
How many
Seriously.
parts? What? You expected something else?
Haven't
No.
they all been
It's
cliffhangers
the
at this point?
it's the Nimrdellian tail spinner spinning tales of Nimrdel. Oh, maybe. I don't know, but it
Did
is
you
very
just
much.
owe
There's a song
yourself?
saying that.
I did owe I owed myself. How do you spell
Okay.
owed in that sense? Never mind. Moving on.
OHED.
Well,
Looks
it
like
depends
okay.
on which meaning of word ode do you mean.
With probably an apostrophe there. He meant the OH one.
Like the,
Oh,
oh,
Oh, I'm so
so
lost.
maybe
okay,
like
that.
quote O, like open quotation O, capital O, H, close quotation ED.
Yeah.
Sure, we'll go with it.
But probably with single
Oh,
quotes.
all right. And where on Middle Earth is Wigan? And this was a special event by Corey Olson, where I presume that he hit all over the
This is
place.
so exciting. This is going to be if you're listening to this after Monday when the episode comes out, you're going to be so sorry. Well, if you listen on Tuesday, it could still be okay. But if you listened after Tuesday, you're going to be so sorry because this is a special event. It's part of the Mythgard Institute and Signum University fundraisers, and so we're going to be having two of these actually. This first one is Where on Middle Earth is Wigan Part 1. Isn't that a really novel title? And he's going to be on LOTRO stream. So he's going to be on Turbine's LOTRO stream on Twitch at 9:30 server time on Tuesday night, the 6th of October. And he's going to be on Wigan, his guardian. So as you know, guardians have acorns. So he's going to be sending acorns out to various and sundry kin members. And we will be stationed all around Eriador at places he's decided he wants to go to talk lore. And I don't even know what the list is, but it's definitely not your usual suspects, not Rivendell and that stuff. I mean, it's like off the beaten path stuff.
So he's
And
not going to say something. I am talking to Elrond, and that would
no,
be
in fact, he's like, I said, what do you think of Rivendell? He goes, well, I don't know about Rivendell. Definitely not Elrond's library, he said.
yeah.
So we're we're kind of on off the beaten path. It's like places that I can't. Some of the places he's probably going to start in Hobbiton, so that's going to be kind of predictable. But other than that, they're kind of they're not even places necessarily always on the Epic Quest line, but places that he's kind of seen that he really appreciated in his completionist quests around Eriador. So that's going to be at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, server time on Tuesday night, and there's the Twitch stream, which is on LOTRO stream, so it's the TV twitch.tv /LOTRO stream, and then there's also a link to the Netmoot, which is where you can come and actually, that's a direct link to Corey, where you can enter questions and make comments that he will see because he can't look at the chat and play at the same time, but he can do the Netmoot. So it's going to be really fun, and there's going to be prize drawings. We have Turbine Point gift codes, 1,000 Turbine Point at a time, so there'll be drawings, and also we're going to announce a fundraising project for the LOTRO community that if we get it done, actually I'm going to tell you guys because it's not an article, and Arather, you are the prime consultant on this, okay? So depending on how much money we raise, we are going to take the professor somewhere, hopefully Helm's Deep, as a chicken. So if we meet our goal, he's agreed. He said he will do this. So hopefully we can do it to Helm's Deep. If we don't make enough money, it'll be like Rivendell or Isengard. So Arather, he's going to have to consult with you before we do this event, because I'm assuming we're going to raise enough money for it.
It's very easy to be the chicken. Actually, you just hit follow, and then you pray.
Here's the funny part. You're going to have to tell him this because he said, "I don't want to follow. I want to drive." And I said, "Trust me, you do. As a chicken, you do not want to be driving. Let someone follow behind someone."
You don't.
Actually, that could add a whole new level of challenge to it. He has to get there himself.
That would actually be way harder.
We all have a
It'd be
code
way
word where we
harder, 'cause-
disappear at when he says a certain word, and so we all just disperse.
Or as he goes, the farther he goes, the less people are around. We just kind of have this thing where we just all, like go away at certain
randomly
points,
drop
and then he's
off
like
at
all
certain
by.
waypoints.
Or, I
But
mean,
I said, listen, you're gonna be, you will be fried chicken if you don't follow somebody. So anyway, yeah. So
because the thing is, at least from what I've seen, watching his streams are absolutely awesome, um, and it's quite hysterical to watch. Especially like I thought I was ADD in Middle Earth. I'm not. Like it's literally, oh, this is a cool wall, and oh, look at this symbol, and like there's people fighting behind him, and the person he's supposed to protect is dying, and he's like, this thing has five pointed stars on it, and it's like, oh,
That could be indicative of the singletry of this
yeah.
particular Bavarian
I mean, the back of your
emperor.
head,
So
come
if
on, mom. While
Just
he's
over there going, keep him alive.
Or the other one is, he's running after a goblin to fight the goblin. He goes, "Oh, a tater."
Yeah, pretty
But I
much.
think actually
So
you make a good point, which is what I'll have to say to him is, look at it this way: if you're on follow, you can talk. You can look around and you can talk
yes,
the whole time. You're not gonna be able to do
yes.
that if you're like steering. So that'll be the thing. He'll be okay then once.
So if
So
you
anyway,
can
I
drive
just
chicken,
really excited about this. I think it'd be really fun. All the events, the one that he's going to do because what we're going to do is on October 6th, part 1 is in Eriador where he's already been, but part 2 is going to be the really dicey one, which is on the Halloween. We're having a webathon on Halloween, and the LOTRO portion of that webathon is part 2, which is going to where he hasn't been, like beyond Lothlorien. So that's going to be interesting. And then if we raise our target over the 2 episodes, the 2 episodes and the time in between, then after the fundraiser's over, we'll have this big open to the public. Let's take the professor to Helm's Deep. I said I want to deliver you to Theoden on the steps of Helm's Deep as a
I
chicken.
was thinking she was going to deliver him on a platter as a chicken.
That would be cool. We could do that. That would be awesome.
That'll be what happened if he doesn't.
Failed
Like.
well, you've got a hunter,
Theoden's
right?
dinner, huh?
You've
I
got a
have
hunter.
that's right. Yeah.
So what
yeah.
you
Yeah.
do is you set up a campfire right at his feet, and then he can go into it and make his chicken flop over, and do it that way.
That absolutely at Theoden's feet. Do the campfire. Boom. That's perfect. Anyway, so hopefully we'll be able to raise enough money to do that. So anyway, I just want to. All the links are in the article on LOTRO Players News, and I hope I'll see you guys all there.
All right.
I mean,
Now,
you could be playing LOTRO and watch this on Twitch at the same time, so you can still be in game. It's like this is going to be an entertainment extravaganza, but you just need to watch it.
all right. A little addendum on our discussion earlier about bears and bows. I've gone into Bullroarer, and I've determined that the Bjorning is not getting any skills involved with the bow. They only use it in an auto attack.
What to do?
And that they cannot use it while in bear form.
Oh, dang
Okay.
it.
That makes sense.
I mean, yay, good, but dang it. I would have liked to have seen it and then have them fix it before it goes live, but I would want to have seen it.
I know.
But
Maybe
still,
they'll have one in. They'll be able to put one in Isengard Tavern. Have a bear with a bow. That'd be awesome.
All
they
right.
can give the burglar like a throwing weapon skill or something to compensate.
Burglars have hatchets already.
No,
And
they're a
daggers.
consumable item.
Yeah,
You have to
but
get
can buy
somebody
lots
to
of them.
make those for you, or craft them
True.
yourself, which is not going to happen
Well, if
for
you're
me
a
because
hobbit,
I
you can
don't do
throw a
crafting.
rock.
Well, there is that. All right.
I'm just
head
gonna just leave my objection to bears having bows on the table, and that'll be that.
I would think that, the process of combing out the fur and then weaving the bow into the braids would just be anti-combat prep time, Just saying.
All right.
Moving along.
Right. That's where you along. Our next we have Poems of the Pine, the City of Kings. In Anuminus, she nurtured her plan to find the ring of fell power. Before we could look for the Palantir stone, we needed to take the town from our foe. She sought to seal a savage deal with the cruelest folk we faced near the shore. They pressed and attacked to purge our friends from the city of kings and lead sad memories. While we stopped the foes that stalled our hunt, and Amarthiel made the most of that time, yet we found a means that could foil our hopes and let us steal the Stone of Sight. We fought our foe and found the stone, so we took the terrible tool. Yet Laredin was lost as we left the place where Marthiel made her plans.
I just
Very
want to say
awesome.
that I read this the day that it came out, and the voice in my head that was reading it was Pine Leaf's voice. So that happened.
That happened. I'm in your head.
Luckily, you're not in our head like Will Wheaton tries to get in people's heads.
All right. And this week's episode of New Players News Players Question is being brought to us by LOTRO Players News and giving us a lift.
Sorry, Pine Leaf. You totally had me on that one. Okay, we'll try again. All right. As the weather begins to chill with fall, adventurers look toward those weather-preparing chores around the homestead. Time to clear out that attic of last update's loot. Clean up those nests from the cabrain that settled in your loft this summer. Reseal those drafty rafters. All within your reach with the latest products from Valar Ladders and Scaffolding. Valar Ladders give you the gift of elevation, enabling you to reach new levels in the blink of an eye. Also, check out our line of work attire and safety harnesses. Valar for when you need to reach the stars. Available at a Lolly's Market near you.
All right, Nathan, what's our question this week? She's in shock.
Let's try the unmuted version, yeah.
Let's try the unmuted version. I thought I was muted, but I apparently wasn't. So this it sounds like it's going to become a moot point once the next release comes out. But for now, I'm confused because I tried the other day to equip a cosmetic shield, and it told me that I couldn't do it. And I was like, "What do you mean I can't do it? It's cosmetic." So I was thinking that weapons and shields were the same as clothes. You know, it doesn't matter whether it's heavy armor, medium armor. I can cosmetically equip, but that's not true. Correct, Terry?
Well, yes, no, maybe, sort of. Okay, so
Okay, well, thanks a lot. Let's move on to the next.
there is a distinction in shields the same way that there is in armor. If you're playing a light armor class, you're not going to be able to equip a heavy armor piece unless you use the wardrobe. So that's going to be a thing anyway, regardless of what class you're playing. If you're playing a character that can only use, even with the new update. With the new update, it'll be moot. Okay. But basically, it may have been that it was a heavy shield that you were trying to use on a character that's using a light shield. With the new update, they're making that into a single class of items so that you can put whatever you want in your shield slot and it'll work. And hopefully that will solve that problem. But of course, you still have to keep in mind that you're going to need to use the wardrobe if you're using a shield or weapon that is either above your level or not something that you would typically be able to use. Of course, if you can't,
so I should not be taking this shield out of my wardrobe then, right? Because be patient, and I'll be able to use it somewhere down the line.
Well, do you still have the shield somewhere?
Yeah.
Like, do you have the physical item? Because what I do is if here's some, like, not in the question, but tips for using the wardrobe for people who don't already know this. If you're only equipping cosmetically a thing for one character, don't necessarily keep it in your wardrobe. Like, put it in your wardrobe so that you can put it in your outfit and then either take it out of the wardrobe so that you've got that spot back and store it somewhere else in your inventory.
Ah.
Because the only stuff that stays in my wardrobe is either stuff that I don't have access to on every character, like items that I've borrowed from other players for cosmetic purposes, which I don't have too many of those because I've gathered them through festivals now. But back when I didn't have a whole lot of festival stuff, I would borrow from people and it would go in the wardrobe. And then the other thing is stuff that I'll use across different outfits. So versatile pieces like shoulders, boots, hats, that sort of thing that you are more likely to use. Main body pieces, chest pieces, and leggings tend to not be in my wardrobe because I vary them so often with different characters. I just take them in and out. That way,
That
it
was a
frees up your
bonus
wardrobe.
answer. That was a bonus answer,
bonus
listeners.
answer, since the question is sort of made moot by
Yeah.
new update changes.
Right,
One more
right.
thing.
Okay.
If you want to have a piece be like if you want, I made this mistake earlier yesterday, I think myself actually. I have like a cloak that I wanted that was one color that I wanted to have, to change to another color and equip it cosmetically and have it available to other characters. I dyed it and then put it in my wardrobe. Don't do that. Put it in the wardrobe and then add the dye
Oh.
to it. And you can choose what color do you want this thing to be when you cosmetic equip it. That way, like it stores,
Okay.
you've got these dyes on this cloak. So much easier that way.
Yeah, the other thing too
All
is
right.
that there are certain pieces that once you dye them cannot be washed back to their original color.
Yes.
They're very rare, but always preview it in your dressing room first.
Good idea.
All right.
Okay.
Now-
And that was a bonus question
Okay.
answer,
Now,
listeners.
what class was this character?
She was light armor. It was a mini, and I was trying to equip a heavy shield.
Okay.
But I said, I mean, my mind, it was like clothes, it doesn't matter. I mean, I could put heavy armor on my mini if I want to, cosmetically, and I assumed it was the same way. And when I put it in my wardrobe and then try to equip it, it wouldn't go.
Yeah.
It said I couldn't do it. I'm like, what do you mean I can't do it? So then
Yeah,
Terry
all right.
said, can't do that.
Wait till update 17.
But now it sounds like we'll be able to. So update 17. So I'll be patient. It's a very cool shield. So I'll be patient.
All right, very well then. Let's head into our week in LOTRO then. And Arathert, what have you been up to?
Lots of stuff. Lots and lots of stuff. I was started off slowly and then the week was like as I went along in it. That's the noise of acceleration, by the way.
How was that?
on
Your
Wednesday-
week, how? How was your week? Say that again. What was that?
My week went yeah.
I just want to hear it again.
So on Wednesday did the LOTRO stream, bingo buff and all that jazz. Nailed the riddle first try. I was very happy with myself. I was like, okay, it's gonna be something on the west side of something tall and and I just like went and spammed delete until I was like, oh, there it is. So and now my minstrel is now level 56 in Moria, and then yesterday, Friday, my girlfriend Becca and I had a hunter date night. So our hunters in Moria are doing like
Awesome.
we're going through Moria, like doing everything that we can and find in Moria. Every quest we can find, we're doing, and our hunters are now level 57. So passed up the minstrel again, yay! And I also today I tanked the Ruined City Tier 2 C again. I'd done it before and I've done it a few times, but I've always done it like just run through everything to the final boss because that's generally the way people do it. But I was like, you know what, let's do it the real way and actually tank everything. And so we did like Jukator and all the other, like the troll and all that stuff. So it was a lot of fun. Definitely a learning experience. I think we only did a full wipe once at the troll because I messed up. But we did it. Point is, we won. So it was a lot of fun. And yeah, basically that. Just messing around in game on my Guardian. Having a lot of fun.
All right. And Maven, what have you been up to?
Okay, I wanted to make sure I wasn't muted again. Oh, hold on here. Golly, I don't remember what I did last week. What did I do last week? Okay. Oh, yes, an information. My Hobbit characters are not happy with me. They are not happy with me.
They're not
Because
happy
my
with you?
warg, they're not happy with me. Because my warg has achieved the first tier of Hobbit killer. in the moors.
Yeah.
Where there, I was like, oh,
Get
you know,
some.
it came across my screen, and I'm like, oh, that's exciting, but just it kind of seems wrong. So anyway, but it hasn't stopped me from continuing to go and track down those pesky little things.
Maven, that is character knowledge, not player. Well, that's player knowledge, not character knowledge. Your hobbits don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, no, they've never
Hey, it's my
seen you
world.
before.
It's my sub-creation. I can create it however I want to.
Okay.
They're on
They're all
world.
inside my head. They're all inside my head, and they all talk to each other.
Hopefully not like Pine Leaf.
No, not with Pineleaf's voice. No, no. Well, there is this one little warden that. No, I'm sorry. On the Academy field trip, Pineleaf and Drac and I followed Terry around Moria without falling off anything. That was pretty awesome.
Ooh.
I know. It was pretty impressive. And then I ran around Fork Hill with the other angry hobbit, the well-dressed man, and a guest star, Lore Master. And we didn't freeze ourselves, and we killed a lot of things, right? Worms and whatever else we did. So that was
Killed
my
a
week.
couple too many things because somebody got a little AOE happy. Maven.
Who did that? Oh, that's right.
You-
She got
you
all
killed
upset
that
with me 'cause of the cow. God, you hold grudges, girl.
I do.
Good heavens! I killed a cow. Yes, I got so tired of getting yelled at by her that I went off on my own and just started running around Fork Hill on my own. She's like, "You killed a cow." Well, for listeners to understand, we failed the quest because I killed a cow. So it
Well,
wasn't just that I
how
killed a
does
cow.
killing
It
a
was we
cow
failed
fail?
quest.
Oh, that
We had a-
cow.
Yeah, that quest. We had a
Yeah.
quest specifically to
Quest.
not
Yeah,
kill
yeah.
Disable
cows.
the
You had to knock
traps.
the
Don't
traps
kill the
down
cows.
without killing the cows. Yeah, and I aggroed the cow, and I didn't notice it was a cow, and so they all look alike to me, and so I killed it. It was like
A
and it-
bull, a
She's
cow.
got an itchy
What's the
finger on that
difference?
Fell
mini.
a cow. I'm not
She's
looking
like,
underneath. What?
Something's attacking
You know?
me. It's hairy. It's got horns.
Yes,
Do it,
it's got
Frank. Do it,
horns.
do it.
It
Itchy
it
trigger
smacks
finger.
me and it hurts. And then a big fail came up on the screen, and I'm like, oops. And then Terry's like, you killed a cow. That should have actually been my highlight. Oh, but anyway, so that happened. And Dang, how was your week? Take the heat off.
Yes, well, I solved a riddle for a lot of people this week, doing the Bingo Boffin treasure hunting funness. I actually had 3 times my normal views because I titled my video like to where they'd be able to find it if they needed to solve the riddle. And a lot of people posted in the comments that they were glad that I put the video out. So solved the riddle for a lot of people.
What did you call the video?
And also did a lot of beta videos because update 17 came out. So yeah, Carve, what have you been up to?
Okay, pro tip with Carve time. This is going to be Carve's Clip Notes. Take notes. You may find something good here. Number 1, when you add a new peripheral to your computer that may or may not be a webcam, you'll notice that certain programs respond differently, i.e. Skype. When you are answering a Skype call, you should pay attention to the icon on the button that says answer and make sure you click the right one, because the people that you are receiving the call with may or may not want to see the webcam pointed directly at your stomach when it comes up on screen. And then when you realize it, you're like, I'm in camera. Pose.
That was pretty
Close,
funny.
flex.
Pose. I'm like, oh my God, what is Carve doing?
And I'm like, the only person who saw was Maven, because Terry and the LM were like, what? And, I'm
And
like,
as I said to you,
yeah.
I can never unsee it either.
Yes. So,
So-
yeah, watch what you answer with your
Oh my.
Skype call. Pro tip number 2. I discovered that when you're in Avendim and you're questing around Oatbarton and Dwelling, which is the first 2 hubs there, the kills for goblins, spiders, sickleflies, and brigands count towards your Shire Slay deeds. So if you skip the Shire entirely, you can get your Slayer deeds in for the Shire to get your deed points as well as your Shire rep from those 2 quest hubs. So it's an awesome way to kind of circumvent having to go back into the Shire to do some things. Number 3, I started a free-to-play walkthrough slash tutorial stream campaign with a brand new free-to-play account just to prove that you can level without excessive grinding from level 1 all the way to level 50 without paying money for the game, just because I'm kind of inspired to do this based on the last LOTRO adventures. No, what's that thing called? Terry, what was the thing I was on? What's it called? The Academy. The
Academy.
Academy,
LOTRO
yes.
player.
Anyway,
Oh yeah,
the
Academy.
Academy. LOTRO
Academy.
Academy. Anyway, so the two most missed VIP perks that I've noticed so far is number one, mail anywhere, and number two, logging in and having a mount because I have the journeyman riding trait. So I'm like, oh, no mail. Ah, no horse. I will run. So that's been some of the highlights of my week. Terry Edwin, you?
Um, yeah, I'm just gonna comment that I'm completely spoiled by mail everywhere, and if I ever drop off VIP, that's probably the thing I'm gonna be miss the most. So I had an interesting week. I achieved a new personal record on my burglar Sarissa, who lasted not quite 30 seconds into the boss fight in the Moria Halls of Crafting instance. She's actually kind of notorious for dying in like every instance. I think I can count on the fingers of one hand the number of instances she's actually lived through. And that was a new personal record because it wasn't even 30 seconds. I was dead. Squish. Lesson learned. Probably you want the healing for that to be a mini and not a runekeeper because inductions suck. You need instant heals. Lesson number 2 for the week. Eventually, Freeps on Glen are going to stop going AFK in places they shouldn't be going AFK. But until that happens, Terry Fluffs is going to keep finding tasty snacks. She happened across a Hobbit mini AFK in a keep that was actually owned by the creeps. So I'm not totally sure how she was where she was without being attacked by all of the NPCs. But I found her and I nomsed, and it was like 174 NPC
Like,
or something
ooh,
like
a
that.
tapa.
It was
Yum.
tasty. I was like,
Yeah, no.
noms.
People are gonna keep going AFK in brilliant
Yep.
areas.
They're gonna keep
It's
going
awesome.
AFK, and yeah, it's so until they wisen up, she can keep having snacks. And various incarnations of Terry Adwin practiced the falling skill. Maven and Pineleaf didn't follow Terry off a cliff in Moria, but Drac did. I tried to warn him. I was like, nope, that's not stairs. Don't follow me, Drac. Too late. So she's
That's right. I
inadvertently
forgot.
started the blind leaper deed on Arkenstone.
So you know what you should do now is find that one mini that was practicing his res deed and try and trick him into doing it too. And you can farm him for your deed.
Oh, no, see. First of all, it's a different server, and
Details.
It's okay. I'm just thinking that Terry's Moria battle cry is that's not the stairs.
Instead of, I got second Moria.
every time I think I know where I'm going in Moria, I end up falling off or going the wrong way. I don't feel too bad because Drac is usually right there with me, and it's the funny part is that he didn't actually have me on follow. He just was going the same way because he thought I knew where I was going, and I tried to warn him.
Oh,
And I was
that's
like,
his
"That's
first
not the
mistake.
stairs." Nope.
Confidence,
Yeah.
man. You have confidence. People follow you all over the place. Yeah, I know where we're going. Sure.
And of course, I was among those who took Terry Adwin. I copied Terry live from Landreval over to Baror and went up in Minas Tirith and took the swan dive off the top of the city.
So, am I the only one that went to Minas Tirith that did not take Swan Dive off the city?
Probably.
A few people in the chat.
That's
that did.
why there's so few NPCs in the city, Pineleaf. They all jump off the top because they hear that's the cool thing to do.
If your
Oh,
friends jump off a cliff, will you do it too? Yeah, probably.
If it's in Minas Tirith.
I've always that question has always bothered me. Like, if all your friends jumped off a bridge, would you jump too? Yes. If all my friends are jumping off a bridge, they probably know something that I don't.
Yes.
The bridge is on fire, maybe. Like, bridge burns down, only one died. That'd be me if I didn't jump.
So, Piley,
Yes, I'm
how
jumping
was your
after my
week?
friends.
all right. Well, first off, my Langeville Minstrel Pine Ring reached level 66, completed Volume 2 of the Epic Storyline and Volume 3, Book 1, which means I've now unlocked all skirmishes with that character. And while doing this is the first time where I actually ran some of the side quests in Tar Morvith, because usually I hit the part of the epic that takes you into Tar Morvith at about level 62, maybe 63, and I said, nah, I don't feel like doing these level 64 quests, so I just go do the epic, go out there, and since you never go anywhere near there again in the epic storyline, I just never bothered to do any of the quests in Tar Morvith. So this time I decided to do a couple of rounds of quests there. And I started a new YouTube series for Bingo Boffin. Yeah, I know I'm getting late on the bandwagon there, but I thought I had decided that I wanted the fervor of the first round of Bingo Boffin series is to calm down, then I will start my own. And I decided to do this on a burglar rather. I was trying to decide which class to do it on, and at the point I made my decision, it I was decided to base it on the bulkiness of the weapons, where the burglar didn't have any shields and stuff like that. I know things. This is before being able to turn off your weapons being visible or stuff like that, which of course isn't ready yet anyway. But that could have changed my decision slightly if that were live
Hmm.
at the time I did this. But I decided to try this on a burglar, and so now I'm going through that series there. And also, we, with Pineclaw, Terry, Maven, and Drac joined me to run through the Silver Team loads.
Which is a lot of fun doing it in a group.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Oh yeah.
All right.
Especially with
So,
this group.
so now we earlier we talked about the big news for LOTRO being update 17, but apparently there is some other news going on at WB, and what's that all about?
Yes, well, in a recent interview, Nolan North said that he had met with the video game team at Warner Brothers about a big project. And for those that don't know, Nolan North is the voice, most known as the voice of Uncharted as Nathan Drake, and that huge franchise, but he's been in tons of games. He's the most used video game voice actor. He's been in everything from Assassin's Creed to Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor to the Batman series of games to even like Guild Wars 2 and EverQuest. He's been doing voices for those as well.
All right.
So he's done all these different voice overs, and apparently he's meeting with the WB team for a new project or a continuation of a project. So what the heck is this big project? Because he's, done so many projects, and for him to say that it's a big project, it's got to be a huge project. The obvious answer seems to be a sequel to Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor. But his character, I don't remember the ending, but it may or may not be dead. I honestly don't remember what happens to his character at the end. So, he could be voicing another character in the series, but that seems kind of unlikely. And in the Batman series, he's not voicing a major character. Well, not too much of a major character. And so that puts up the question, well, what is he working on then? It could be a Justice League game because that's a big thing that Warner Brothers is pushing for, and he's done other characters in the DC universe, so it's possible that could be the case. Or it could be a new IP, or it could be LOTRO related, Turbine related.
Well, well, somehow I don't think something LOTRO related will fall under a big project.
I meant a LOTRO sequel, is what I was trying to say, but failed.
Something Lord of the Rings related, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be interesting.
And we have heard rumors that Turbine is working on another big game, which would make sense since they recently failed with Infinite Crisis and have not fired people after the failure of Infinite Crisis. So that means they probably still have a fairly big team doing something at Turbine.
So perhaps this big project then.
Perhaps. I mean, they met with WB Games, and that's a huge entity. So who knows what's going on? Because Monolith, who's the people who made Shadow of Mordor, have been going on a hiring spree recently as well, according to GameSpot. So, basically we don't know what's going on, but there's a big game that's going to be coming out of WB in the near future because voiceover, and particularly once voiceover starts talking about it, it's usually a year or two out by that point, so should be something big on its way.
All
Lord
right.
of the Rings Online 2, Shadows of Mordor.
That would be crazy if they combine the teams, which actually wouldn't be too far off, because with the original Shadow of Mordor, they actually had over 90 employees from Turbine listed in the credits as customer service and online technologies and other things like that for like their website and stuff. So not too far off. I mean, WB Games combines their teams a lot. Even inside Turbine, they're constantly switching between like DDO and LOTRO. So, it's possible, but that's probably the more unlikely of all the possibilities.
All right. We currently have 18 supporters on Patreon, and if you would like to join this illustrious raid of players to help LOTRO players, simply go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. There you'll find rewards, including a mention on the podcast of your choice, or even be a guest with us on an episode of LOTRO Players News. And how far are we from the next goal?
Well, Pineleaf, we reached a goal. We actually reached the 1-year DDO VIP giveaway, which will be starting on Monday. So if you want a 1-year VIP for DDO, then that will be starting on Monday over at ddoplayers.com. Sadly, the codes don't work for both games, I don't believe, so there's that. But guess what? If you want your chance at winning a LOTRO VIP code, that is our next goal. And
how far are we from it?
we are a little over $28 away from a 1-year VIP code for LOTRO. So, very exciting.
Right, and we have an email from Glambold, who writes, "Hi, I moved my tunes this week from Rittermark to Landreval as my kin moved to Landreval. The transfer took place within a couple of hours, and this is for 10 tunes. But I did not get a notification that it was completed. It is easy to check if it is completed by just logging onto your target server and seeing if your tunes are there. I had to rename only 2 of the tunes, and this is where I found a minor issue as I use plugins, in particular Titan Bar. All of my plugins were disabled and had to be re-enabled after the move, but I would suggest that you log in and rename if necessary your tunes before enabling the plugins, as Titan Bar gets very confused with character name changes. Overall, a very easy move with no real issues. Grimbold of Rittermark, oh, scratch that, Landreval."
Nice.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. The plugins, that's a pain.
Yeah, because a lot of plugins save their information based on
Right.
server then character name.
Right.
Still better than not
Right.
being able to move your character and having it deleted forever, though.
Well,
Yeah.
there is that little
True.
detail.
True.
That's true.
Now, fortunately, I have several of my plugins are set up to be active for all characters, so therefore those will probably be set up. Those are specific information within the plugin, though, will still have to be updated, I'm pretty sure, assuming if there's anybody I have to rename. The Players Alliance has an email address, podcast@lotraplayers.com. You can also follow us at Twitter, the Players Alliance, @Players Ally.
He had me on the edge of my
Lotro
seat.
Players,
He did.
@Lotro Players. Andang @PVNP_Andang. Arathert @Arathert. Carvet @CarvetLP. Maven @Tolkien Maven. Pineleaf @Pineleaf Needles. And Terry Adwin @Terry Adwin. The Players Alliance has 2 live shows every single week. Mondays at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have DDO Players News. And on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have LOTRO Players News. And you can join us for our live shows at lotroplayers.com/live. And also on every other Saturday, right after LOTRO Players News, we have Tales of the Free Folk. Check out the LOTRO Players News chat on the video link. Thank you everyone for listening. This is Pine Leaf Needles, and remember to skirmish responsibly.